And we are back. NFL Week 5 Power Rankings. Let's get it. Starting out at number 32, going down one spot, we have the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans, they ended up losing 26-0, putting up 0 points on the Houston Texans. This is, right around where I expected them to be. This is, a first-year quarterback in a very below average team. What else could you expect? This team could honestly get the number 1 overall pick again. They will most definitely, in my opinion, end up with a top 3 pick. I thought they'd be just a tiny bit more competitive, but it seems like, there are so many learning curves. This team has a lot of work to do before they can, go up. 31, going up a spot, we have the Saints, who are 0-4 as well. They ended up losing to the Bills in a game that was kind of close. The Bills kind of pulled away in the fourth quarter, 31-19. However, in the fourth quarter, or at least very late in the third, I can't remember, the Saints were only trailing by 2. They actually played really well this game, played to their competition. Unfortunately, the Bills, are just by far a better team. So, even though the Saints were doing as good as they realistically could, it still wasn't enough, not really even close. Number 30, we have the 0-4 Jets going down a spot. They ended up losing Monday Night Football to the Dolphins, 27-21. This was a game that the Jets were kind of behind most of the game. They kind of did their thing with the Buccaneers where they came back, but wasn't enough again. You just got to play 4 quarters of football if you expect to win. The Jets, they're trying to play spoiler, play from behind, come back for the win. It's just not working. You're coming close, but not quite. So just got to play a bit more dominantly early on, and hopefully, come fourth quarter, when you do get that, second burst of energy, it's able to be enough. 29, we had the Browns, who are going down 3 spots, 1-3. They got absolutely blown out by the Lions, 34-10. There's not much to talk about. The Browns, they looked horrendous. Really showing off the one-game wonder last week. Yeah, they looked bad. We're not even going to get into it because, they literally had nothing go their way. 28, we have the Raiders going down a spot. They ended up losing to the Bears in what was a very entertaining 25-24 game where their actually go-ahead field goal with like a minute left to go ended up getting blocked. So the Bears ended up just winning it because of the block kick. They had free timeouts and, some change on the clock. They could have scored anyway. But, yeah, this Raider team has really just regressed from week 1. Maybe they turn it around. I'm hoping they do because of the, whole offseason. This team could actually be really good, really sneaky team. They aren't showing that right now. I was one of those believers where they weren't going to make the playoffs, but they were definitely going to shock some people. And, well, they have shocked me with how bad they've been. 27, we have the Dolphins, who are going up 3 spots. They pick up the win, 27-21 over the Jets. The big thing is Tyreek Hill is out for the season with a dislocated knee, and some other stuff around her. That's probably going to do it for the Dolphins, even though they won, got a much-needed win to at least help them, try and make a playoff spot. They just lost arguably their best player. That's a fatal blow. With that being said, they got a nice quality win, even with Tyreek Hill's absence. He got injured somewhere, I believe, in the third quarter. But you beat the Jets, so not really saying a whole lot. 26, we got the Panthers going down 4 spots. They got absolutely blown out by the Patriots, 42-13 or something like that. This was one where Bryce Young actually got benched. Curious to see what's going to happen to him, if they're going to roll with Andy Dalton, if they're going to continue with Bryce Young. This is just a very hit-or-miss team. We've seen it. They either do really good or really bad. There's kind of no in-between. Unfortunately for this week, this was just a really bad one. That's just kind of how it is. You trade away Adam Thielen, who is arguably your best receiver. You're still waiting for Xavier Legette to take that step up. Hunter Renfrow hasn't played football for a long time. I don't know what else you expected. Your kind of main guy is a rookie who, he's putting up decent numbers, but nothing that's, eye-popping. So, yeah. this is just a rough team. 25, we have the Bengals, who are going down 6 spots, 2-2. Yeah, Joe Burrow was this team's lifeline. They ended up losing 28-3 against the Broncos. And what was, the Bengals had a really good opening drive, and that was it. That was it. They did nothing else the rest of the game, offensively or defensively. I mean, this was just a rough game for them. I don't think they're going to be doing much better, considering our next opponent is the Lions. So, yeah, Bengals fans, I'm sorry. 24, we have the G-Men. The Giants get a much-deserved win, up 4 spots, 1-3. I am doing them dirty. They did beat the Chargers with Jackson Dart's first career start, a 3-0 team at the time. It's one game. I'm not willing to buy into the hype quite yet. I'm willing to, hear them out. But I want to see another game out of them before I'm like, okay, this team with Jackson Dart is just a different team. They looked the part, but was that just a trap game? Only time will tell, but, if this team continues the way they're going, they're scary. But at the same time, they did lose Malik Neighbors to a torn ACL for the year, so yes. Sorry, fantasy people, I know he was arguably going to be some league winners. 23, we got the Cardinals down 5 spots. They ended up losing to the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. 23-20, game-winning kick by the Seahawks. This is a team that's just giving off the vibes of we're going to be in close games. Whether win or lose, most of our games are going to be close. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely going to be entertaining. It's just you got to win those close games. You've now lost back-to-back games, both to division opponents, after starting 2-0 against some much weaker teams. I am on fraud watch with you guys, so Week 5, if you play, I know bye weeks start. I don't exactly know who's on bye weeks. I'll find out by predictions, don't worry. Yeah, you're on fraud watch right now. 22, we got the Falcons up 2 spots. They got a nice quality win over the Commanders. Granted, it was with the Commanders' backups. But, well, not backups. Just, Jane Daniels, I believe Terry McLaurin also missed the game. You're missing those 2 big playmakers that, make that offense. I'm still not sold on this Falcons team. Yes, they looked a lot better than last week. It's hard to look worse. But, I just need to see more out of them. Like I said, Michael Penix, he's one of those guys who's going to be very hit or miss. He's going to be either, a guy who's talked about as the best quarterback in his class, which, he has some great competition right now. Or he's going to fizzle out and the Falcons are going to be on to their next guy. Who knows? 21, we got them boys going up 4 spots. They ended up tying. We have our first tie of the season, our first one in a few years, with the Packers 40-40. Great game if you didn't watch it. As a Packers fan, I'm sad it ended in a tie, but I'd rather a tie than a loss, so I'm okay with that. They played amazing. They really struggled that first half, but once that 2-minute drill came around, they were down 2-3. They ended up tying, they ended up going into half 13-2 to 16-13. That was a great job by them. Amazing shootout game by both teams. Just unfortunate for both sides. They couldn't get the win. But the Cowboys, they looked great. Showed, hey, we can be good without Micah Parsons. And boy, oh boy, were they. Number 20, we got the Bears, who are 2-2. They're going to be staying the same. Yes, they beat the Raiders. Yes, it wasn't very close. Yes, the Raiders are horrible. But they are the same team who blew out the Cowboys last week. I'm willing to hold out hope that maybe this was just, them riding off the highs and, potential victim to a trap game that they were able to avoid. And hopefully they're able to build off this momentum of now 2 wins in a row, looking like you actually have a quality quarterback on your hands. That's something you have not been able to say since the Jay Cutler days. And there's been a few quarterbacks since that. Yeah. Number 19, we got the Texans finally getting their first win, up 2 spots, 26-0, dominant win over the Titans. I knew this team was good. We just needed to see them actually get the win. They've played 3 really good opponents before the Titans, losing all 3 of those games by 1 score. They finally get a win, especially over the division opponent. Yes, this is great for them. Now they just had to build off of it. I know people are like, 0-3 teams don't make the playoffs. I believe there's only been 1 in NFL history since 1990 or whatever they said. Texans looking to make history. And I would not count them out. 18, we got the Vikings. They're going to be going down 5 spots. They ended up losing to the Steelers in a game where they struggled so much, and then the fourth quarter came around, and they really did everything they could to win. It just was not enough. They lose 27-24 in a game where they were getting, 3 quarters of BTA, if you know what that means. I'm not going to say it because, we don't swear. So, the Vikings are going to play the Browns next. I think they have a really good chance of winning that game. Plus, it's going to be international. They're not even going to have to travel as far as the Browns, so they're not going to have as much jet lag because they just played in Ireland. They're now going to London. So, I think the Vikings are going to be fine. It's just, this is a tough loss for them. Hard pill to swallow, as people say. 17, we got the Patriots up 6 spots, getting a much-deserved, much dominant win over the Panthers. Granted, it's the Panthers. I genuinely think they are going to split the season series with Buffalo this year. I don't know when they play. I know I saw it on Twitter. I don't know if it's next week or what. I actually really like this team. I think they're coming into their own, showing how dominant they can be. We saw them last week do really well against the Steelers. They just made a lot of mental mistakes. They fixed those mistakes this week. If they're able to build off this, they could be a scary team come January. 16, we have the Ravens down 9 spots. Lamar Jackson ends up getting injured. He's probably going to be out until their bye week, which I believe was week 7. They're 1-3 now. Their chances are, unless Cooper Rush or whoever they have starting. I believe they might have Tyler Huntley on the practice squad. They might elevate him for this. They're in a really tough spot because you start the season 1-3. You've lost to 3 teams who are, quite literally juggernauts of the league. Bills, Lions, Chiefs. It's just, now that Lamar is injured, you're going to have to hope that Cooper Rush, Tyler Huntley, whoever it is able to win you football games. I just don't think that's going to happen. And once Lamar comes back and you're 1-5 or 2-4, I think it's just going to be too big of a hill to climb. So unfortunately, I have you at 16, and I only see you going lower for the next 2-3 weeks. 15, we have the Steelers up 2 spots. They get a nice win in Ireland against the Vikings, a game where they were actively trying to throw it away in the fourth quarter, but they were able to hang on, thankfully. This team actually looks good on paper. They're winning games. Yes, they are sloppy, but they are winning games. That's all that matters. Your competition in your division is the Joe Burrow-less Bengals, the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, and the Cleveland Browns. I mean, cakewalk of a division for the Steelers. It's them to grab. It would be really embarrassing if they messed it up. With that being said, I'm still not sold to you guys, but I do think you are a quality team. Definitely top half, but at this point, as you see at 15, not by much. 14, we got Denver. They're going to be going up a spot. They get a nice one over the Bengals. It's just I think other teams are better at this point. Yes, I do like the Broncos a lot. Being 2-2, you've looked very iffy with Bo Nix as, a sophomore quarterback. I know the sophomore slump is a common talk at this point in the league. So, are we going to see Bo Nix, actually take that step up and say, hey, this roster is definitely good enough to compete? But we need to see Bo Nix, take that leadership role, take that next step up, perform. 13, we got the Commanders, minus 3 spots. They lose to the Falcons in a close one. It shows Marcus Mariota is a quality backup. He can get you wins. He can keep you in games. Jane Daniels, I believe, should be coming back, so that's good. That's really all there is to say. This was a very injured team going into this week. I think they're only going to get healthy come, next week. So I think we're going to be talking about the Commanders, here again soon. A team we are talking about again is the Kansas City Chiefs going up 2 spots. They get a nice dominant 37-20 win over the Ravens. And granted, this was, they were dominant while Lamar was in this game. So, you can say, they only beat the Ravens because Cooper Rush was in. No, they were destroying even while Lamar was out there. Yes, it's time to be nervous that they are a juggernaut again. It's time to be nervous that, they just had a really tough first 2 games. They might be back. We need to see one more game, but as you can see, I'm buying the hype again for them. So beware. Number 11, we got San Francisco. They're going to be going nowhere. They're staying the same. They get their first loss against the Jaguars. In fact, we can actually talk about that because number 10, we have the Jaguars, who are up 6 spots. The Jaguars win 26-20 against the 49ers in a game that both sides really were doing really well. This was Brock Purdy's return. You could, just weren't able to get the win, unfortunately for them. With that being said, the Jaguars won. The 49ers lost. Jaguars are now a top 10 team in my eyes. Number 9, we have the Seahawks. They're going to be going up 3 spots. They get a nice quality win over the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. They're looking legit. I'd like to apologize to Sam Darnold. I may have been wrong about him being a one-year wonder. He's actually looked really good so far. This Seahawks team looks like it could potentially have a chance at the division. With that being said, there's 3-1 teams all looking really good. So, yeah. Go Seahawks, I guess. Number 8, we have the Packers, who are going to be going up a spot. They are 2-1-1 with a tie over the Cowboys. I am concerned. If I'm a Seahawks or a Packers fan, because you're going into the bye week, thankfully, but you're now allowed a loss to the Browns and a tie to the Cowboys, two of the weaker teams in the league, in my opinion. I mean, you got to pick these wins up, and you got to be doing good. Number 7, we had the Buccaneers. They are going to be going up a spot, I believe, as well. Yes, they lose to the Eagles, but it was a close game. Buccaneers trailed the whole game, came back in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, just ran out of time. With that being said, I do think this team has potential. Obviously, they kept it close against the Eagles. So, yeah, this team is legit, in my opinion. Number 6, we have the Chargers going down 3 spots. They lose a close one to the Giants. The Giants just played better. Looks like Jackson Dart was that change of momentum they needed. Chargers struggled. I do think they are going to be fine, though. I'm not too worried if I'm a Chargers fan. That's why they're still at 6. Number 5, we have the Colts staying the same. They barely lose to the Rams, who we still haven't talked about for obvious reasons. This team is legit. I mean, the Indiana Jones hype should be there. It's real. I'm very hyped if I'm this team. Colts at 5. They've looked the part. They barely lose to the Rams. I mean, they're them. Number 4, we have the Lions up 2 spots. Look like they just struggled week 1 against the division foe. It's week 1. We understand. They might be back because they have looked dominant ever since. Good wins over top-tier teams. And then, blowout wins over the ones that aren't top-tier teams. Looks like they just needed some time to adjust. And now that they're adjusted, oh boy, should this league be scared. Because they're only building off of last year, it looks like. Number 3, we have the Rams, who are up a spot. They got a nice quality win over the Colts. Shows the part. I mean, they played dominant. Number 2, Bills. Number 1, Eagles. They say the same for obvious reasons. They're interchangeable. Hope you enjoyed. I did. See you next time.